I'm Tyson.
Hey, I'm Bob, and this is Elliot Norris, My Mustache.
Yeah.
Baby, cover me. Come here, close my eyes. Universe to see. Give me hope. You can see me home. Give me shame. The beauty of the stage.
Awesome. I'm so happy that you're here, man.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much for the invite.
Oh, of course. Yeah, as we were talking about before, it was really good to get to know you for like the 15 minutes that we were behind in the green room. And we have some good questions lined up. A lot of you guys asked us some questions to ask Bob and Elliot his mustache. And but first of all, what we always like to do is just say hello to everyone. So we got E. How you doing, E-Rock? I don't know if you're familiar with any of these names. But he's been on my show before, and he's a good dude. We got Mr. Aldemir. How you doing, buddy? He's in Hawaii.
Oh, excellent. I always wanted to visit Hawaii.
Me too. It's on the bucket list. I still haven't done it yet. Pearl Harbor, I think, would be epic to visit one day. Travis, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for all your support and always sharing the post for us. Then we got Michael P. How you doing, Michael? He's a good guy.
I can't say. Well, thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, he'll watch it. Mark, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming. And then we got Dan. Dan's always supporting. How you doing, Dan? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. Zeb. Zeb is a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of Zeb. I was just actually on his show just a minute ago on the Bearded Pack. So
awesome.
He's a 21-year-old aspiring beardsman going to school right now. And I think he can learn a lot from you. I think a lot of us, including myself, can learn a lot from your wisdom that you're going to give us tonight. And then just looking, we got Casey. How you doing, buddy? This is who I was telling you about his mustache.
Oh, yeah.
So, one day you two will have to connect and talk about, I'm digging. I told him, like, if you were to cut your beard, he would have a similar mustache as him just because his is epic.
Oh, that's awesome. I say do it.
Well, when he talks, you know how when yours is down, you can't see your mouth?
Yeah.
That's him. How you doing, Gabe? How you doing, buddy? I'm just continuing going. I apologize. Steven, how you doing? Steven's from Ireland. He's always
Ireland.
Here. Yeah.
So I'm hoping to go out to the British Beard and Mustache Championship in Rugby, UK in August. Wow. So I'm hoping to get out there, see everybody. If I make it out there, come and see me. I'm going to make sure I have some stickers on me.
Dude, your outro on your videos are epic. I love those. Did you make that yourself?
So, yeah, I mean, I took the photo and then I paid to have the animation done. And then in the first version of the animation, it didn't have the logo or the text I wanted. So a buddy of mine put together another one with the text at the bottom and the top. And I've been using that one here lately.
I love it. I absolutely love it. What's up, Ken? How you doing, buddy? He's from Hawaii as well. And Jeff, how you doing, Jeff? Jeff, actually, I believe he's from where I am in Utah. And
excellent.
One of these days, we're going to have to do a little lunch or something like that. What's up, Nick? How you doing?
What's up?
And still going. We got Miss Ellie. Ellie's one of the most supportive people out there. Her and her husband are always around. And
that's awesome.
Just being very supportive. So I appreciate her. So why don't we get started? Why don't we talk a little about who you are and just a little about yourself?
So 1994 to 2005, I served in the Army. Obviously, you couldn't have a beard. Yeah. And the mustaches, there was so many regulations on it that it was just like a little sliver. So I didn't do anything with it. When I got out, like you said, I kind of grew my freedom beard. Uh-huh. And at that time, I could grow a little bit of a mustache and more of a goatee. So from 2005 to 2018, I was growing them and shaving them off, but I was always using like head shampoo or face wash. So even when I tried to grow a beard, it dried out. The skin got dry. I got ingrown hairs. I'd pluck at it and get myself like bald spots. So some friends of mine at work, in December of 2018, I shaved everything off. And they're like, I thought you were going to grow a big beard. And I was like, no, this is what I do. They said, we dare you to grow a beard for a year. So I took that challenge and I started washing it with head shampoo. I got scaly skin all through here. So it wasn't until I started using beard care that it really made a big difference. And I mean, I grew a beard all the way down to about here, but everywhere I looked, there were beautiful beards. Nobody was really rocking a mustache. So I took it off after 20 months and won my first nationals in 2020.
Which is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goodness, that mustache. Dude, it's an epic mustache.
So yeah, today I'm rocking the Copper John's Gray Beard series.
Appreciate it. Polies.
Smells amazing.
It's my version. So Polies is my grandpa.
Oh, okay.
And no one could ever say his name. His name was Albrico. And
Albrico.
they immigrated from Italy. And when I was growing up, I lived with them, and then they came and moved in with us and my parents. And it was my version of his aftershave that he always smelled. So
to me, it makes me think of those rooms I would never be able to get into that are really sophisticated, and everybody wears like smoking jackets.
Yeah,
and they have like gin and the fancy drinks, because that's what I smelled when I was putting it on. Yeah, it smells really nice. The Gray Goose and all that good stuff.
Okay, so if you guys do have questions, just like Jason did, put a Q in there so I don't miss them. If I do miss them, just let me know. But a lot of you guys did answer the question on Instagram on questions, and so we will be answering those. But if I do miss them, just keep sending them. I apologize. I don't mean to miss them. But all right, first question that we have for you is first, thanks for your service.
Oh, yeah.
And what was your job when you were in the Army?
So I had basically 2 MOSs. My first enlistment, I was what was called a 27 Tango or Avenger Systems Repair. And that was a Humvee with a missile turret on the back. And that was at the in the 82nd Airborne. So jump out of airplanes and it would land on the ground and it would defend the sky. Well, then I reclassed in 1998, went out to Fort Huachuca, Arizona for almost a year to become basically an electronic engineer and work on the Army's direction finding and jamming equipment. Plus, I did Linux. Well, I did, Unix administrator, but most people don't know Unix. They always hear Linux.
Wow. So you did, that's pretty cool. So what do you do right now?
I still work.
Did you incorporate that?
Well, yes, I still work on computers. Basically, like sysadmin. I make sure that people can get connected to their folders. That the communication between the servers and the clients is good. Plus, I do a lot of database programming, kind of in my area to help keep inventories really organized.
Good for you, man. Yeah, I just know my IT people. Don't like getting asked questions and helping. I just know that they have a notorious, there's a stigma about IT and always being nice to or mean to everyone. I can imagine that you're not that way at all.
No, I try not to be. Anyways,
so this is the question that I mentioned to you beforehand. I wanted to make sure it was okay. We had someone who knows your story. He wants everyone to know it, and he asked this question: how did the Towel Stadium shooting affect you as a young soldier? So basically, why don't you just whatever you feel comfortable with, and maybe kind of tell them what Towel Stadium is.
So when I was stationed at Fort Bragg in 1995, in the 82nd Airborne Division, they had 3 cycles. You had a training cycle, support cycle, and a mission cycle. And the mission cycle, you're on a 2-hour recall, and if you get the phone call, you go down, they put you on a plane anywhere in the world, 18 hours. So the way that they kind of kicked this off was they did this big run. So we had a brand new soldier came in the night before, and my squad leader couldn't be there. So we said, make sure you look after the soldier. We had to get down there early, run from our unit like a mile down to Towel Stadium, which is like a soccer track field. And it was down in a bowl, right? So it had a hill on 3 sides. What we didn't know was there was a guy that was very upset with his unit. And so he took 3 guns and was hiding in the wood line. And just as the run was going to kick off, he started firing into the crowd and shot 18 people and killed a major. So I think where Andrew's getting at is like, so when I was on the field, I was very low in the totem pole of rank structure. So I'm standing there waiting for somebody to tell me what to do, right? Because that's what you do in the Army. You follow orders. And the last orders I had was, to stand fast. And the only thing I could think of was I had a brand new soldier and I was told to, protect him. So I picked him up, used my body as a human shield. Bullets are passing by, tracer rounds, and got him out of there. But back in those days, they were like, well, if you didn't get shot, there's nothing really wrong with you. Rub some dirt in it, go walk it off. And we did the same exact run like a week later in the same exact spot. So, it was like dark and foggy and they had the big lights on us. So, they had MPs out there with the dog. So how did that affect me through the military is when you join the Army, some of us like me I had always wondered when push come to shove, would I be somebody who would freeze? Would I be somebody who did this or do that? And even though it wasn't necessarily like a force on force combat environment, it's like the training kicks in and I didn't worry about me. The last thing in my brain was make sure to take care of the soldier. So I had, grabbed him, was like, I gotta get him out of here.
Well, I appreciate your service again. And I know we talked and that's about all that we want to hear and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if that, you know what I mean, but but truly appreciate that. And I think that's something that, I don't know. That's a lot. I don't know how I would be, but I would hopefully be someone like you who is able to protect others and willing to be a human shield. So thank you again. So now it's kind of moving forward. You do a lot, and we're going to cover that. Like you have a lot. Like you have what 850,000 plus followers on TikTok.
Just about 860.
Yeah, you have Instagram. You have YouTube. Anything else that I'm missing?
So I made a Facebook account from my Instagram, but basically what happens is I put stuff on Instagram and it goes to Facebook. So those that don't have an Instagram can at least follow the content and I can get questions that way.
So with all that going on, you have work, you have your family life, all that kind of stuff. What keeps you inspired to keep going?
I guess what keeps me inspired when, I might put out a video and maybe it gets 10 million views, right? And a lot of people, they'll say different things. If one person asks me a question about facial hair, that makes it all worthwhile. Yeah. Because I know when I first started in 2018 and everything was drying out, I was like, what do I do? What do I do? And everywhere I looked, there were these videos of half naked men taking beard oil and they were dousing themselves in it. And I was like, I don't want to spend money on a whole bottle. If what am I supposed to get? What's the basic I need to get? And so when I found out and I started using it, I started sharing my experiences, right? And I was really excited because I was like, look at it, it's night and day. So that's what I try to do is I try to be me, I try to be genuine, and I'm very passionate about facial hair because I've learned so much and I want to share it because some of the facial hair community, when I first started in 2018, it was like Fight Club, right? You go around and you try to find people who had this info, but it was like Fight Club, right? You couldn't find it. But once you got inside, it's this huge world that, the beard competitions and mustache competitions and the charities and all of these things. And so when I put my content out, I try to explain it in a way that's like the basics. Because if I got a beard down here and you're just starting off, me telling you how I take care of my beard like this doesn't necessarily maybe meet your needs. And so that's how I try to share it.
Dude, I love that. And what's funny is if you look at the picture that you sent me that's on the thumbnail, it's you with all those multiple beards. And so you really are trying to learn everything and inspire young beardsmen and older beardsmen how to create that and how to do that. So what made you start growing the mustache? I'll call it the mustache, Elliot the mustache. And when did you realize that you had something special?
So, like I said, I was challenged at work to grow a beard for a year. And previously, in the beard I had that I had been trimming, I saw that the mustache was relatively thick. So this go around, I was like, I'm really excited to see how big the mustache is going to get. And of course, what I tell people who say, I want to grow a mustache, what should I do? And I always say, like, set a time-oriented goal, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, but grow a beard. Because you don't want to be trimming it, as you're shaving and you just start sliding it in.
Oh, that happens.
Yep. So I'd say around month 4 or 5, I could see it was really thick. It wasn't very long, but it was very thick. And I wasn't sure how my beard was going to come in. So I have some photos somewhere, but my beard grew together and came down. It looks stupid. I think it looks, looking back now,
The
I'm
little
like,
fork that you're talking about.
yeah, all I had
Yeah.
to do was take a brush and go underneath. But these are things I discovered on my own that I'm very much happy to share. So when I got to the year, I said, all right, year's done. What do I do now? I was like, I don't know. I'll go to 18 months. And it just kept growing, and it started feeling, it was like the ugly duckling, right? It was going different directions until I learned it's an everyday, train it, have patience, it doesn't grow overnight. And when I hit like month 20, and I mean, it was really nice, but everywhere I looked, there were all these beautiful beards. I'd look, there's a beautiful beard, there's a beautiful beard, there's a beautiful beard. And I was like, I wonder how big my mustache is. So I said, well, maybe I'll take the beard off, rock the mustache for a little bit and see how things go. And when I took the beard off, I was surprised at how big the mustache was. And then, a company said, we'll sponsor you for nationals. So I was like, well, I got to keep it for that, right?
And did you just measure it? Did you just measure it and it was a foot long?
Well, back in May, I measured it from the center of my lip out. And this is, May of this last year. And it was 7 inches from tip to tip.
Holy cow.
But the mustache I like to do is an imperial, which is thick to a tapered point. And when the points are up here, it's too long. So I just trimmed it maybe a month ago, and it was already at like 5 inches. So I've taken in 5 trims, I've taken off 8 or 11 and a half inches basically off of each side.
Wow.
It just keeps growing.
Yeah. What's funny, wasn't even going to mention this, but you always do hashtag Escobar. And I really, really like that show.
Escobar, Seven Deadly Sins. So
yeah,
the funny story is
look like him.
When so I was going to be in a bare knuckle boxing film, and I found out that the main actor was huge on TikTok. So I said, well, I'll create a TikTok. Maybe he and I could do some videos together. And like within the first 3 days, I had 40,000 followers. Dang. And people started saying 7 Deadly Sins. Well, me being, me, I didn't know much about the show. So I'm thinking the Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, are they saying I'm a serial killer? Then somebody said, no, you need to go look up Escobar. So I started using that hashtag. I now have like a white shirt, red bow tie, and the green jacket. And I'll do like, what's up? Escobar cosplay. But yeah, it's been a really, really interesting show to watch for sure.
Yeah, no, I watch it with my kids, and I actually really enjoy it. It's one of those. If you like Avatar: The Last Airbender,
the show, not the movie.
The show, yeah, the movie sucks.
Secret tunnel.
But it's that type of vibe and that type of feel, and right when you said it, right when I saw it the first time, I'm like, oh yeah, that's him. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So
I get it a lot. That and Whitebeard. When the mustache was longer, Whitebeard from One Piece, I did a cosplay, where I made my mustache up like Whitebeard, and that went over really, really well.
I've got Michael. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming.
So I'm sure you want to know how come I named my mustache Elliot Norris.
I was going to get to that question, but yeah,
if it's a question,
let's do it. Let's do it.
So through this journey. Right. I'm at 38 months, almost 39 months now. There's a lot of selfies on my phone.
I can only imagine.
I'm not going to lie. So one day I thought my mustache looked really good. I posted on Instagram and I jokingly said, I'm going to go tomorrow and apply for a birth certificate for my mustache. If Chuck Norris and Sam Elliott had a baby, it could be my mustache, Elliot Norris. Oh. And it stuck. And hence the legend was born.
I love it. Speaking of, you were talking about your bare knuckles boxing movie.
Yes.
How did that happen? And I'm kind of excused. How did that entail? Like you doing the movie itself? That's kind of cool.
So on Instagram, a story came up, or somebody shared with me that there was a bare knuckle boxing film being shot up in Erie, and they were looking for extras between 18 and 55, male, facial hair preferred. So I was like, the epitome of a handlebar mustache is, bare knuckle boxing.
Oh yeah. No, so right when you said you were in it, I'm like, dude, that makes sense.
So I hit him up and I said, I'm 47 at the time. I work out. I've got a handlebar mustache. And of course, I included photos, right? And I said, by the way, I am the 2020 USA National Handlebar Champion. And I sent them, like I sent you, photos of different mustaches I could do. And they're like, oh my God, we love your mustache. We're trying to do period styles. So if you could do your mustache up like that, then send us a photo, we'll give you, thumbs up or thumbs down. So I was like, awesome. So I had a bunch of questions and they wanted to do a Zoom meeting. And so we're doing the Zoom meeting. And I'm talking with the executive producer. The director's on another one, but he's got his head off to the side. And I'm like, okay, well, this is the mustache I was thinking. I did a lot of research, and it was very Hungarian-like.
Okay.
The director turns around, he looks, he goes, yeah, that mustache looks good, and goes back. And I said, do you want me to shave or not shave? And he comes back and he says, how many days has that been? I said, well, it's been about 2 days. It's a lot easier to shave it off if you don't like it than it is for you to want me to have it and have to grow it. And I said, I have another mustache in mind as well. And he says, all right, don't shave tomorrow. Do the other mustache and send us a photo. And we're going to have a scene where we showcase your mustache. So I'm like, oh my God, that's so awesome.
Yeah, right.
So he goes back to his computer and I'm talking with the executive producer. And I said, hey, don't forget, I work out. I was in the Army for 11 years. And if you need a punching bag, I volunteer. Director turns around and he goes, we're going to put you in the ring with the main actor and we're going to give you a speaking part.
Oh, wow.
So I got to play Jimmy Allen in the short film by Oddity Productions, Alexander the Brain, which not this weekend, last weekend, I think it was. I was up in Erie, got to see the private screening for the cast and crew. It was phenomenal. It is a rated R. There's a lot of, adult language and there's fake blood. That's one of the cool things is I got to get covered in fake blood.
Oh yeah. Bare knuckle. You have to.
And it's chocolate syrup with a red dye. So it's stickier than sticky. And the two main actors, Josiah and Jacob, I went up and Saturday and Sunday was on set. We were doing the filming and I was an extra for most of it. And then Sunday night I got to do, mine where I'm fully in the camera. But these guys are doing the same fight scene over and over again, right? It's like a 3-minute fight scene.
Yeah.
For 7 hours on Saturday and 6 hours on Sunday.
Wow.
And they would shoot it from this angle. They shoot it from that angle. They shoot it from this angle, all these different angles. Then they go in and they do just the microphone and they had microphones everywhere. And those guys, there's a grappling scene. Well, they did it so much, the chocolate syrup, they were sticking to each other. And when when the scene was over and they push off, their skin was sticking to each other. They're like, look, we can only do this 1 or 2 more times. I'm getting red from, the skin sticking together.
Yeah.
So it was really awesome. And they're doing their public premiere in Erie at the Erie Art Museum, March 19th, 5 to 8. And then I've started a campaign out there for everybody to go to either their YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, or all three, and tell them where you're from and that you want to see it online so that we can get them to put it somewhere where everybody can enjoy it.
Okay, so after the fact, I'll put that on the description so that everyone can do that as well, so that I can have that link. But Casey, if you're still on, if you can post that link real quick, that would be amazing. What's up, Scott? How you doing? But no, that is amazing. I think just how cool is that? Facial hair got you on a really epic movie because I definitely want to see it. I think that would be fun. So Dagan, I just had to put this out there that he said he just measured his and it's 9.5 from tip to tip. So
that's awesome. Long mustaches are really good for Hungarians, English, maybe freestyle. But my favorite style is the Imperial, which if you're not sure what that is, that's basically my logo.
Yeah.
And so before I cut my mustache this last time, it was all the way up to the top of my head. It is hard to make that mustache when it's, that long and it's really thin. So that's why I trim mine down. But yeah, you can do some really big curls with the long mustache.
Yeah, I like your TikToks and the videos that you do as you're getting ready and getting, I've seen you do everything. I'm like, dude, this is really cool. And
what I'm trying to do is when I put those out, I'm showing that I do it every day, basically, that it's not an overly complicated process, but my end goal is hopefully it sparks someone to want to know more, and maybe they ask, which mustache wax are you using? Do you heat it up? How long does it take you? That kind of thing. Because I was putting, I didn't know that mustache wax is oil soluble.
Yeah.
So when I was growing my beard and my mustache, I was putting it all in my mustache. Then I was trying to put mustache wax in, which it was not firming up. So it was taking me an hour and 15 minutes, and I was getting super frustrated. And then somebody said, wax is oil soluble. I'm like, oh my God. Then when I did it dry, I was done in like 30 minutes. But my average time now is between 15 and 20 minutes. Depends on the mustache I'm making.
To style it.
Like this, there's not a whole lot that goes to it. I'm more concerned about the symmetry. But if I was going to do like a closed curl or something like that, then it takes a little longer because I've got to bend it over, let it set, bend it over some more, a little more wax, that kind of stuff.
So what type of style of mustache when you went 2020, what type of mustache were you wearing?
It was kind of like a modified imperial. And by that, I mean, it was thick coming down, and I just had small loops, right? So it was an open
what you were
curl.
showing, yeah.
But it wasn't the big imperial.
So when did you discover that you loved competing?
I think when I won. No, I wanted to stand on the stage. Yeah, and I wanted to do my beard, right? Because I'm like, oh, that's like the epitome of growing a beard, is being able to stand on stage, compete, and just check it out. So I was all ready to go down the RVA League, which is down in Richmond. They were having one. There was one that was going to go on, and there was like two in North Carolina in 2020. I was all signed up, was just about to pay my entrance fee when COVID hit. And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we're going to have to postpone it until October. Because I had already said I was going to grow it out for a year. I had just passed the year mark. So I was like, I don't want to shave it until, I compete. And then they started doing them online. And that's where I competed in nationals, was online. I shot it all right here in this bathroom. They had a cool video where it was like, look at the camera. Now turn your head. Now look back. Now turn your head this way. Now give us, style, tell us about yourself. So, and then they put everything together, and it was really fun to do.
Sorry we'll go back to that conversation, but Casey would like to know what the link was again so that he can put it up for the petitioning to get the movie out.
Oh, so I have a video on all my platforms, but basically the information is for Oddity Productions on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, whichever account you have, all three. Just go in, tell them who you are, and that you want to see it online. So it's Oddity Productions out of Erie. I think on one of the platforms, Oddity Productions is out of New Zealand, and that's a completely different one.
Okay. Out of Erie. Perfect. Yeah. So I used to do bodybuilding, don't judge me. And I never really got into it. Like, I enjoyed it. I tried it one time. Never again. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't fun to me. And then I discovered you guys and you competing and stuff, and I could watch it all day. It's just really fun to me. And so I know this year you guys are going to be competing in Wyoming.
Yeah.
And so have you already got your ticket? When's that coming?
I have not. I will have to go back and check, because I've got I'm hosting a beer competition in Orange through the wine festival. I'm trying to put one together at Devil's Backbone in the fall. There's the one in Rugby UK in August. So cool. Typically nationals, I think, happens like in September time frame. So hopefully I can get out there. What's really neat in the process is they measure your mustache, not the length, but and this is something for people to understand when you're growing facial hair, is if you want to do a mustache category, at least with nationals, you cannot have any hair below the corner of your lip, and you cannot draw the hair more than, I believe it's 3/4 of an inch from the corner of your lip. So if you are, or corner of your mouth, if you're drawing hair from down here, you would be in what's called a partial beard. If you have hair down here, you could be in the musketeer category, So make sure you understand
have lots of different categories.
Yeah, and you get prejudged, usually the day before. What was cool about Nationals is they had a row of barber chairs and master barbers. So if like your beard, let's say you wanted to be in the 3 to 6 natural, and you come and they measure it and you're at 6.5 inches, you either have to go to the, step up and go to the 6 to 9 or 6 to 12, or go to one of those barbers and have them trim off that 1/2 inch. So that was
smart.
a really cool thing that they had there.
Yeah, that's actually really cool.
And I got to meet MJ Johnson. So for those of you who don't know who MJ Johnson is, he has the world's most recognizable facial hair. He's got that giant imperial.
Okay.
He's a really cool dude out of Minnesota. I got to meet him several times. I was part of the live ad campaign shot in Scranton, Pennsylvania in August prior to national. So I got to be on national TV. Or at least local through the Pennsylvania area, but I was the only guy styling my mustache for that. So it was really cool.
That's cool. That is cool. Yeah, his name's Joe. Dude's mustache makes me feel like crumbs on my upper lip compared to him.
No, your mustache is as good as mine. I never mustache shame. Whatever you can grow, be proud of it and rock it. I want to see more mustaches. As I was telling you earlier, at Nationals, there was 4 of us competing in the styled handlebar. There was like 35 guys in the beard category. So most guys can put a razor down, do nothing for 6 to 9 months, and they'll grow some type of beard. But it takes a little more commitment, I think, to grow a mustache. And I tell you what, if you're a fork in the fork drawer, go from being that to a fork in the spoon drawer, and you will stand out.
Oh, great advice. So speaking of advice and all that, so when you're in the gym and you're learning how to better yourself and that type of stuff, I always call that bro science, because they don't really know what they're talking about, but like, dude, you need to take this and this is going to get you ripped. I'm like, no, man. What is the type of bro science that was your worst advice ever and also your best advice ever that you received?
Oh, given to me?
Yes, given to you.
I'm trying to think of the worst. Let me go with like the best. So
okay.
I've been working out since I was about 16, never professionally, just trying to stay healthy. I was always a small kid, so I worked out with the big kids. I think it was Gridiron Giants with Arnold, and it was really cool to watch going through that. And one of the things he talks about is he had a trainer that said, what muscle group are you trying to go after? And let's say it's tricep, right? He said, you need to take the weight and do the exercise, not only look in the mirror and see if that muscle's firing, but if that muscle's not getting sore, you're not doing it right. So that was really good advice that I listened to. Probably the worst advice I got, I'd have to say, would be, I didn't know much about squatting. And when I was in Arizona, a guy told me, what you want to do is basically squat down to where your knees are just over the tops of your toes. Well, I had some confidence because you're only going down like that much.
Yeah.
I stacked a bunch of weight on. And when I went down, I came, my head dipped, my back came up, and just everything balled up in a giant knot. And I'm so glad I didn't shoot, my spine out of my butt.
Yeah, no joke.
But you don't have to go heavy. Like after I had my knee surgery, I did just the bar on squats for like 3 months. And then I put on 10 pounds or 15 pounds. You're there for you. You're not there for other people,
So speaking of, so you, every now and then you do take some stuff of you working outside and working out and all that kind of stuff. Are you going to ever implement with your TikTok and stuff like that? Because Joe just mentioned this. He loves your content. As I think all of us do. It's very creative. It's very educational, all that kind of stuff. Are you ever going to add your working out to your TikTok or anything like that?
I really want to. I mean, I'm not an expert, so there'll have to be a disclaimer, because one of the things is, I'm not a facial hair expert. I always share my experiences, what I went through.
You
what
do
worked
say
for me,
that.
what
You always say
did.
me.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like, I went and bought that stuff and it doesn't. And I'm like, I'm telling you how I used it and how it worked for me. So I would love to shoot some gym content. Definitely, because it would be, this is my routine when I want to work push. This is my routine when I want to work pull. Because you always have to be careful. Because if you say, oh, this is how you do a deadlift. And if I'm not doing it exactly
Right. I
correctly,
agree
and
with
somebody
that.
goes and they do it and they injure themselves, then, you don't want to be responsible for that. But what would probably work is getting with someone who's a physical trainer and be like, I'm here today with so-and-so, and we're going to go through deadlifts. I like to do deadlifts, at least once a week.
So now with all the platforms that you're going, and what's your goals for the platforms that you've created? I know you said it basically is to create a awareness and education for the mustache and how to groom and all that kind of stuff, inspire people to grow one, which, by the way, I think you've inspired a lot of people today.
Oh, really?
So what's your goal, and how are you going to achieve that goal?
Probably my end goal is to be a world ambassador for mustaches, for facial hair, but really for mustaches, right? And with that goal is to inspire others to maybe think about taking the same journey I did. Like, I didn't know what kind of mustache. This is my first real mustache, but I didn't know that until I committed to it and didn't chew it, didn't trim it, didn't buzz it, and I let it grow. And then lo and behold, it surprised the heck out of me. Yes, genetics and time are the two biggest factors that determine what your facial hair will be like. But you can definitely make it healthy so it grows to its fullest potential. Wash it with a beard wash. If you are having dry skin and dry facial hair, try a beard wash. Beard oil, beard balm, they can really make a difference. Exercise, hydrate, and eat protein. So the way I've gotten to where I am is I try to be me. I try to be genuine about what I'm talking about, sharing my experiences. And I'm very passionate about facial hair. And I try to let that passion flow. Because one of the people I follow is, I can never say his last name right, but Bjorn, the strongest man in the world.
Oh, yeah.
He played the mountain. Yeah. I mean, he has millions of followers.
Coming up too.
He just started like last year doing beard advertisements. And in the very beginning, he looked very uncomfortable doing it. So I don't want to be like that. I want you to see that I'm comfortable. Like when I first started doing lives and I was shaping, I thought it had to be perfect. Right.
Yeah.
And I would get very nervous, which started to mess up. But now I've learned, like, if it messes up, I show you how I deal with that being messed up.
Yeah,
like I was doing my mustache and I was trying to do a certain thing, but once I kept come forward, I was like, you know what? Let's make closed curls out of it. And I attached it and it looked fine.
Zeb has a question for you. What's the worst food you eat with that mustache?
The worst food I've eaten with a styled mustache in this journey was we went to a place called Pho 3 Pho. I hope I'm saying it right, but I believe it was a Vietnamese restaurant with hot. Is it?
Yeah, it's pho. I love pho. That's why I know it.
It's wonderful food, but I was drinking the soup, and hot stuff will loosen it up. Next thing you know, my mustache was like this. Outside of that, I've learned to eat with a mustache. Now, style it, I have access to my mouth. And if I get a really big chili dog, this is what I do, is I put the chili, everything on, then I put the hot dog on top. That way I'm not shoving chili into my mustache. Smart. Now, when it's not styled, I will either part it like this and lift it, or you can use a knife hand. And that was something that my brothers in different Facebook groups shared. They said, you just make a knife hand and lift it up. I don't care about getting it dirty. What I don't want to do is get it hooked in my teeth like dental floss or chew on it. Because if you bite off an inch, the average growth for facial hair is about a half an inch a month. So if you bite off an inch, you just lost 2 months of growth. And if you do it too much, you're now going to have, spotty hairs, and then you get frustrated and take it off and have to start over.
All right. So I just thought of a question while you were talking about this, because you said as it gets warm and as it gets wet, it starts to lose its grip and all that kind of stuff because of the fun and everything, which makes sense to me. I don't trim my mustache, but I don't have that style. I don't have the ability to grow what you have. And I think that's okay for me. I'm happy where I'm at. For those who do, but they kind of have a relaxed look and more of a natural look, what if they don't want to spend 20 minutes a day to do something like that, but they do want to be able to style it? What do you recommend for them?
So I don't use it a lot, but you could use a little bit of like Got to Be Glue hairspray. A lot of the beard competitors who do freestyle, that's their go-to. You can use a little bit of wax, and what my method is called, I pinch it, right? So you put a little bit in, maybe run the comb through, and just pinch it up right at the ends. And what you're trying to do is just guide it away from the mouth, and then maybe just part it a little bit. You feel silly in the beginning doing it, but I've been doing it so long now, it's just second nature.
I love that. Great answer. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
Aldemer has asked a question. Bob and Elliot, have ever noticed your shadow when the sun is behind you and it looks across when the stash is sticking out of that far?
Oh yeah, I've always joked. I'm like, if you can't see your mustache from the back, do you really have a mustache? But yeah, I see it all the time in shadows. And one of the things I do is I'm in a Facebook group, Handlebar Hellions, and every Wednesday they do a hashtag called Half Stash Wednesday. So basically, you take a photo of half your mustache, and guys get kind of creative. Well, I've taken ones of my mustache on the ground, so you only see half of it. But yeah, that's one of those like little milestones where you're like, my mustache casts its own shadow.
Dude, I remember first time seeing my beard as a shadow. I'm like,
Yeah.
I made it.
Yeah. You just stand there looking at it. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
That's me.
you're like, I'm sexy.
Yeah. You gotta get a photo though, or it didn't happen.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
So with all of that you are aspiring to, all that you have done, and all of the success that you've had, what's the definition of success to you?
It's not having 18 sponsors. That is a nicety, and I always tell them it's humbling for me, and it's an honor for me that they trust me to represent them and showcase these wonderful products.
Mhm.
The achievement, the crowning achievement for me is the feedback I get when people ask me facial hair related questions, or they tell me I grew this because I saw your stuff and I wanted to do the same thing. And you really helped me. And I mean, I get people from all over the world, and I got to use Google Translate a lot, but
I've noticed that. I've actually seen you do that, and I think that's pretty epic.
yeah, on TikTok, they have a translate function built in, but sometimes some things don't really like translate over. Like, I like the cheese in your ears. I don't know if I'm supposed to like that, but I've seen Escanar in Russian enough that I can recognize it easy.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Seven Deadly Sins was that bit popular everywhere.
Yeah,
But it is on Netflix and it is on their top 10.
Oh yeah, I watched it, and for those who haven't watched it, Escanar is a pivotal character to the series. Basically, he's mild-mannered, like librarian type guy with a small mustache and glasses who loves poetry. And then in the peak of the high noon sun, he swells up into this mountain of a man who's indestructible, and he's super prideful, like you decided to blot out the sun. Who decided that? And the dude, he like wouldn't give up, and like you could be beating him down, and it's like, is that the best you got? So
right, it's and you sound
awesome.
like him right there too.
Yeah,
that's cool. So yeah, now I have these rapid questions, but I've decided not to do them this today, just because I don't know. Think you're amazing. So, how do you prefer your steak? And does pineapple belong in pizza? Aaron, you're such a dork.
Ooh, gonna dip my toes in water. I like my steak medium, but I'll eat it medium rare. I'll eat it medium well. I grew up like super poor as a kid and ate a lot of Wish sandwiches. If you don't know what that is, that's where you make toast, put it together and eat it and wish you had more. So I'm not overly picky. I'll eat a burnt steak. And when you're in the army, you eat what they give you. Right. Do I believe pineapple belongs on a pizza? I think it's delicious on a pizza. My favorite pizza is a buffalo chicken pizza. But I'll eat a pizza with pineapple.
So how about this? Do you like blue cheese melted, like real blue cheese crumbles melted on your steak? Have you ever tried that?
I think I have.
I love it.
I went to a place and they had a blue cheeseburger, and I said, I'll take the blue
Ooh.
cheeseburger. And they came out, and what they had done was they had like blue cheese dressing. They put it. I'm like, where is the blue cheese?
Medium
So-
rare and pineapple slaps on pizza.
Yeah.
And these pineapple pizzas all gross. That's what blue
Yeah,
cheese
I mean-
is gross. I love blue cheese, man.
There's a couple I follow on social media where the wife is from the United States and the husband's from Italy, and she was in Italy with him in his hometown. They were at one of his favorite restaurants. They had ordered Italian pizza, and she's like, I want to get pineapple on my pizza. And he's like, Amore, don't do this. I can never come back here. She's like, to this restaurant? He's like, no, I have to leave Italy. Never come back. You get pineapple on the pizza. So
All right.
I understand.
So, if you could give advice to a new beardsman or to a new person aspiring to have a mustache in the making, what would it be?
All right. What I generally like to say, so I'm consistent, is set a time-oriented goal. 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year. Commit to it. No trimming, no shaving. If you're going to grow a mustache from scratch, hide it in a beard as well. One thing is you won't know what hairs you will need later on until you let it all grow. Like I said, 1/2 inch a month is the average. So if you're trimming all kinds of things and then, you get to a year and you just got this really long, right there, it's hard to like fill in the gaps. So personally for me, beard washes made a massive difference. Now, I don't have very oily skin. So if you have oily skin, you may not need that. You could get away with just washing it once or twice a week. I wash mine every day with a beard cleaner. I also used a beard oil. Beard oils, you want ones that have between like 7 and 9 different oils, premium and essential. And the reason being is that this is the hair follicle. And let's say you're using just coconut oil, right? Or just tea tree oil. It's only going to settle at one place on the hair, not giving you the best coverage. So 7 to 9, 7 to 9, it's going to coat that hair. Beard oil, start in at the skin and the base of the hair going outward, right? Beard balm, go from the ears to the chin, either beard balm or use a beard butter. That's a leave-in conditioner. And that's what I tell everybody. If you do need to trim dead ends, use very sharp scissors. Only trim what you need. Like with mustaches, for me, I tell everyone, if you think you need a trim, wait 3 weeks. Why 3 weeks? Style it every day. Make sure that the hairs are aligning the same way each time. You may have a hair from a different spot that just happens to be sticking out. You trim that off today in a short knee-jerk reaction. Then tomorrow you now have like a gap in the hair. You're going to trim all those.
That is great advice.
Then all of a sudden you're trimming. So I usually will make a small trim, measure it out, make a small trim, and then wait a couple of days and I go back and reassess. And then I'll make a small trim and then I don't touch it for a while.
Okay. That's actually really, really good advice. I like that. So we have Jeff Wimpy. He asked a question, Bob, how do you blow your nose? I still can't figure that out.
In the shower.
There you go.
If it's not constantly running, do it in the shower, get that hot steam, get it all out, because you're gonna wash it out. Otherwise, I would blow it and then just try to fold it all up in and get it all in there. Luckily, I have not had.
That's actually a genuine question because a lot of us, that's what I do.
Yeah, just do it in the shower where you can. Always carry some kind of comb or something, because the worst food I ever ate. Somebody asked this, and here's another worst food I ate. Was my dumb butt took a giant sugar-coated donut while my mustache was waxed up, and I devoured it, and all the little sugar cubes got into my mustache, so it got in between the hairs, and the wax wouldn't hold, and I combed it out for like 3 days. It was like going to the beach. You get sand all in the crack of your bottom for like a week, right?
Dude, okay, question for you, and I'm asking all these questions I wasn't planning on asking.
No, that's fine.
What type of comb do you use? And have you ever used a Chicago comb?
I have probably like 10 combs. I've got beard combs, I got mustache combs. What I started with was that long comb that was in my clipper set, and trying to style and everything. So I got the the fine end one time and then the big end. There's many out there, and it really comes down to a preference, right? My longest used comb is this Kent comb, right?
Nice.
But put it in your pocket or your pocket down here and you fish it out and you lose them like I do. That's a pain in the butt. So the one I carry with me most often is the Mustache Key mustache comb. It's basically a key that has been cut to be like a comb, goes right on my keychain, so I always have it with me. There's a lot of people
that's there. I could never figure out. I'm like, what's the point of this? Is this a gimmick? Now
always with me. A lot of people will tell you use a wood comb, and if you have plastic and you're running it through your beard, you're generating static electricity, so those flyaway hairs are always going to be flyaway. But it comes down to a preference thing. I've got metal combs, I got plastic combs. I will show you this one. I think this one is really, really neat. I won this from Savory. This is cool. Their Tomahawk mustache comb. So you've got a comb part, you've got a brush part, but this tapered end is really neat. I have a video on YouTube where I roll my mustache up and I roll this towards my face. And then when I slide it out, it unravels into an open curl. So this was a really neat tool to have.
Have you ever tried the like this? Have you ever tried the carbon fiber Chicago combs?
No, I have not. I
gotta send one to you.
My buddy, I think he goes by Possum Holler on TikTok.
Okay.
I think he loves the Chicago combs.
Yeah, because they're carbon fiber, they're anti-static, there's no imperfections. This is my go-to for me and my beard. And I was wondering, but the wood
comb, metal comb, another plastic comb.
I do like the Tomahawk one. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. He Savage Jack also makes this one. He hand makes these or hand turns them. There's that one. There's this pocket comb.
Nice.
So they're pretty nice. And I mean, it goes right. It feels like it's massaging my mustache. That's the way I describe it.
No, I love that. And I love how small they're. I do like the Tomahawk. I think that was my favorite one.
The smaller, though, you run the risk of losing them. I will say that.
Yeah, see, Gabe, and 6 and 8 are great for beards, but for mustaches, not necessarily. But I like the one for the mustache because it's short bristled and short teeth. I mean, so all right. So next question. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
You being so into the beard world and the mustache world, what do you see trending now when it comes to products, or what would you like to see trending as well?
What I'm seeing really popping out there a lot is like your beard soap bars. I think a lot more people are starting to have the light turn on that maybe a beard wash is something they want to try. There's a lot of wonderful like beard oils out there and your beard butters, beard balms, that kind of stuff. I'd like to see more of the beard washes. I have a couple of beard soap bars. They work really good. And I have 2 beard shampoos. And it comes down to like a preference. They all lather very well, but they're designed to be less harshful on your face and strip out less oil. Because if you don't have the oil, the hair can't be healthy. If it's not healthy, it'll dry out and then you can have stunted growth or split ends.
Yeah. So this is, we just came here. It's like, oh, no, sorry. That's one
thank you.
mustache. But the one I was going for is I need a specific mustache comb. And I agree. I think there's something for your beard, but there's also something for your mustache as well.
These are both Kent combs. It's like about $9. It's a small comb, fits in the mustache. One is from Stash Salt, and the other one I got from Can You Handlebar. But it comes down like a preference. The Mustache Key, you get it right off of their site. That's a handy one to just have with you, especially like if you eat and then you're like fooling with your mustache if it's not styled, and then you just run the comb through because you'll get some salt in there. Salt's another enemy of the mustache.
Have you ever used the Mustache Mate from Matt Beard Laws?
Yes.
How do you like that?
Oh, I love it. So did my 7-year-old, and she ran around here so that she could have herself a mustache, and she dropped it and broke the stick. But I handed a bunch out to people. I mean, that's what I have left of the stick.
The Mustache Mate.
So what does the Mustache Mate do? I don't know if I have the mustache portion, but it's a mustache, and you could use your stick, and lifts your
Yeah, it
mustache
just puts
up,
a-
so you're not getting the mustache in your mouth.
I actually
which is
talked
nice.
to I actually talked to Matt, and I think we might be bringing it in just on our site so that because
Yeah, he's
support
got
him and also to do it for us.
he's got a normal one, and then he's got a large one as
Mhm.
well. So I'm gonna have to hit him up. Be like, hey
All right.
man, can I get a replacement?
Right. All right, guys. So if you guys have any more questions for him, we're on the tail end of the interview. So if you have any more questions for Bob, please shoot them out, and we'll keep going. It's been some amazing questions so far. One question that came out from the Instagram, again, like I said, I got quite a few of those, and we've asked most of them. But out of all the beard styles, you have one now. Beard styles. What has been your favorite style? Because we talked about your mustache. But what about
Ooh.
your beard?
So I was going to compete in the natural beard category up to 12 inches with style mustache. So, I mean, there are so many beard categories.
There are.
Gibraldi, and there's the Whaler. Freestyle is probably one I never did, but I think it's truly amazing. Some of the things the guys can pull off. Paul, who's on Instagram and TikTok, who's like a freestyle phenom. That guy makes these like very symmetrical, amazing designs. He's out of Texas. I got to meet him at Nationals. I
That's
met
cool.
the reigning world freestyle beard champion, Joe. The dude was amazing. And we sat in the parking lot just chit-chatting. He was asking me questions. I had like several time natural mustache champion from Canada. I think he goes by Wildly.
Speaking of the devil,
Snide Stash. Beard Laws.
we were just talking about it, Matt.
I'm messing up his name, but anyways, he called me to ask how I use rollers in my mustache.
Oh,
So freestyle is probably my favorite to see. Mine, I was just trying to get like that shovel appearance where it'd go from thick and then it would be rounded out at the end. Look at that.
Hey, it happens.
Spazatroid here.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. That was a really good question. So I wanted to ask that too. So, yeah. If there's any more questions for you guys, I have the would you rather questions that I always ask.
Yeah, ask away.
So what does Matt say though, real quick? Made an exception to social media Sunday for you. Yeah, he usually doesn't do Sunday social media.
I think Matt does Tuesday broadcasts, if I remember right. Or
Tuesday and Thursday, I believe. He does a Tuesday TikTok and a Thursday beard or something like that. So yeah, and then you got Brian. How you doing, Brian? Yeah, he loves his Kent.
Yeah, Kent combs are nice, but everything is a preference.
Yeah.
People ask me all the time, what's your favorite mustache wax? And I'm like, they're all my favorite. I use different ones based on the style or the temperature conditions, that kind of stuff. Like most of the time when I put rollers in, I'm using just a beard oil, beard balm, and maybe a beard wax. But if it's really rainy outside, it won't hold. So, I may not do that. But I mean, if I'm going to say one mustache wax that's really awesome, the Bob and Elliot signature wax.
Nice.
It's got my face on it.
All right. So would you rather?
All right.
Would you rather? So I ask these all the time. I have 5 of them. They're a little quirky sometimes. And so everyone, please feel free to join in and give us your answer too. Would you rather win the lottery or work at the perfect job, and why?
Ooh. All right. So I'm going to go with perfect job. Why? Because if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And winning the lottery, there's no guarantee that the money won't just disappear. Right?
Great answer, man. Great answer. I would have to agree with that. Plus, I enjoy working. Especially this. I want to do this full time one day.
Awesome.
And man, I just, that'd be amazing. Would you rather 5% of the population have telepathy or 5% of the population have telekinesis? You are not a part of the 5%.
Oh my goodness. Probably telekinesis, because there would be so many people that would get in trouble, I think, being able to read people's minds. And then you'd always be wondering who has it. So I think though that those that could move stuff,
Yeah, I think that's actually. I like the part where you said, and you won't know if they have it or not, but if they're moving stuff, you know who has it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Win lotto. Never know how much time you have. Want to enjoy and spread the wealth sooner if you could. Great answer.
Yeah, yeah.
See, we all have different mindsets. So I think
Mhm.
that's cool, and nothing's wrong. Telekinesis and agree. See.
Yeah, but you don't get it if you remember. You are not part of it. So
All right.
yeah. Who else would have it? All right.
Next one. Would you rather have a successful TikTok page or a successful YouTube channel?
Oh, that was tough.
I know.
Well-
That's why I actually made this one specifically for you.
So I've never had a successful YouTube. You can post longer. The community's been around a lot longer. Wow. I have a TikTok.
Can you make a living off TikTok because you can off YouTube?
You can off of TikTok, but not necessarily through the creator fund. Sponsorships is where the money's at, right? Oh, I like TikTok. I like the community there. I don't know the community at YouTube as much. I think there's more on YouTube because it's been around longer. So I would have to stay with TikTok. I'm right now. I'm a big fish in a little pond. So,
Okay.
you know,
But you have the personality and the worth ethic where you could get bigger if you tried. I really do
possibly.
believe that.
There's only so many hours a day. Somebody's like, you should do this kind of account and this kind of
Right,
account.
right.
I'm
There
like,
is only
I'm
so much of-
already trying to do 3 major social media outlets, you know?
Yeah. You're becoming a brand, and so what do you do with that brand? It's
Yeah.
good. Would you rather be balding but fit or overweight with a full head of hair?
All right. Would you rather be balding, but fit or overweight with a full head of hair? I don't mind going bald. 11 years in the Army, I kept my hair very short. But you know, if you don't have the head, if you got a cone head, then maybe you don't want to be running around looking like King Tut.
If you have an
So
odd shaped head.
There's some people that you're like, that is a beautiful bald head. Look at The Rock.
Oh
right?
yeah.
That is a beautiful bald head, and he's fit, right?
There are some definitely good looking heads out there. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, and the very last one. Would you rather eat something savory or sweet?
That's a tough one. Probably, because I'm thinking of a lot of ice creams right now, Reese's peanut butter cup and chocolate. Maybe savory. Maybe
Ooh.
savory.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I'm a savory kind of guy too. I agree
Yeah.
with that completely. And then we got Beard Ambitious Dave. He just shaved his head, so it was bald head.
There you go. Right? That's awesome.
Well, those are all the questions I have today. So everyone in the comments, if you have anything quickly for him, but that's been the hour. And dude, Sam, or I called you Sam. I don't know why I called you Sam.
Sam Elliott, Chuck Norris had a baby on my
Yeah,
face.
I was looking at Sam talking. But yeah, you do have that mustache like Sam, but I appreciate you.
Oh,
is there
definitely.
anything
Thank
else
you
that
so
you
much.
would like to talk before we skedaddle?
Outside of, I want to say thank you for everyone who follows me on any of the social media. I'm just trying to be a down to earth guy that puts out the videos I like to put out. So be you, be genuine, and let your passions flow. I mean, that's what got me noticed by Lad Bible. They shared out my videos. Cabernazi, another group out of South America, beard company with 428,000 followers shared out my content. Also, like, if you see me out and about anywhere, I'm carrying stickers on me at all times now. I've run into people that are like, I know you from TikTok. I was in your live. Do you remember when I said this thing? And I'm like, yeah.
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you see me anywhere, I'm going to try to have a sticker on me. And truly, it's humbling. It's my honor to have so many amazing followers. All are welcome. There's no mustache shaming. Not by me,
Last question. I just thought about it because you do
All right.
lives on TikTok. You
Yes.
have 860,000 followers. How many followers or how many people do you have on average on your lives on TikTok?
If I do it more often, I range between 1,700 and 2,000 right now at any one given time.
That is nuts.
So here's my thing. Here's my philosophy. If you're going to do a live, try to be prepared or have your stuff handy. Like if somebody says, "What do you wash it with?" and I go, "I've got a beard wash."
Yeah.
What you don't want, and what I see, and I scroll right past them, is people. Well, I mean, you got people doing lives now of them sleeping. People are into it. Hey, if that's your thing. But for me, when I do my live, this is where I'm at, right? You see me. I have no illusion or delusion that my mustache doesn't draw people in. So I make sure that's in the camera as much as possible. And, you know, engage with people. And that's what I try to do. Because if you come by and people are looking at this for 30 seconds because you went to go run and get something, they're gone. You're not going to get them back, you know? So that's why I try to stay. That's what I do with my live. And I don't like silence. So I'm constantly talking.
I feel
and if you're not sure, just talk about things you like.
Yeah.
And then generally somebody might ask a question, you know, tell a story. I try not to like on social media, at home in real life, it's a little different. I try not to swear. You know, there's so many people on social media that every other word out of their mouth is a swear word, or they're saying something. And I'm just trying to be
that's
positive.
the reason why I don't let my kids on TikTok, or try not to, just because the vulgarity out there is just, it's real. And I'd rather I'd rather not have to hear it if they don't have to.
Yeah.
So. But with your 2,000 followers or 2,000 people that are, to me, that's nuts. That's nuts. I can't.
It's like 2,200, I think, was the max I've had recently.
I can't imagine having that many.
Screen goes like this. Having a good moderator, somebody that you trust, who knows your content, knows your answers. Like when somebody says, "How long have you been growing it for?" 38 months with 5 major trims, totaling 11.5 inches off each side. How long have you been growing it? 39 months.
Not that you even know that. So
yeah,
that's cool. So So when someone does a live and say they're monetized on YouTube, they can actually get, you know, a financial, you know, they're recouping finances and they're getting money and getting paid. Does that happen on TikTok?
So on TikTok, you have the creator
fund,
super
chats type of vibe.
Well, once you get to 10,000 followers, you can apply to be a part of the TikTok creator fund. And the way you monetize is per views. It's views and engagement, right? And where the views happen in the engagement can give you more. Like instead of, you know, 1 cent per view, maybe you get 3. You can also now get video gifts. People can leave tips. And when you're doing a live, people can gift to you. And so I've made, like, I think in one live I made like $15. Now there's other content creators. They're probably getting hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
But I do it not for the money. I do it to, you know, engage, because that's the thing. I'll spend maybe 2 to 3 hours a day going through my comments, trying to like everyone. And if someone has a question, I try to answer it.
You really do. Like, you'll like some of my stuff. I'm like, wait. And I feel a little honored. I'm like, Bob likes my stuff. That's really cool.
I've had people screen record my response, and I'm just like, man, I'm just trying to come through and tell you that you're important. I'm nobody without the people who come and watch my content and ask me questions.
That's cool. No, that's really cool. And the reason why I'm bringing all this up is there's a lot of people in this chat right now who are aspiring to be content creators, or bigger content creators than they are right now, and they're trying to grow. And you know, someone who's a very influential and successful, I would say, with TikTok. You've kind of got to that upper echelons, and so I'm kind of asking those questions. That's why. Yeah,
I have only had TikTok since April of last year. So
less than a year, you've almost a million followers.
Yeah. And so my advice is,
the personality.
Whatever it is that you like to do that. Other people, if you put it out and you get 4 views, that's fine, right? Eventually, you know, if you keep doing it, those people who like the same thing will start coming in. Then they'll share it to the other people they know that like the same thing. And then all of a sudden, it starts spreading like wildfire. I follow Gary Vee.
Yeah,
and one of the things he talks about is right now the TikTok algorithm is hot. And he's like, post 4 videos a day. You have to kind of commit to it. I've been posting between 4 and 9 videos a day since last April.
Dang.
So I might put out 6, and one of them will hit 100,000 in an hour, and the other ones will get 3,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the next day I just keep doing it. And then all of a sudden, it's funny because this is just something I noticed, right? I'll post a video. That video does okay. But in my activity, its other videos suddenly get elevated, right? And then this one will have its day where I might get 3% exposure, where I might get 30,000 views on it.
Uh-huh.
But that video might push the other ones up.
Great advice, man. I really appreciate your time, and I just showed you right there that Andrew showed up. Andrew, I did ask you your question, and he did answer. So it's at the beginning of the episode or the show. So feel free to go back and watch that. But,
yeah, if you want to watch a full description of the event of Towel Stadium, October 27, 1995, on my TikTok, Instagram, or my Facebook, I have a drum page, and in there is a link to an interview I did in 2020, the 25th anniversary of the shooting, with a wonderful gentleman, Carl's Beard Banter, out of the UK. And that's where I go through it with high level of details from that day. Get you some tissue, though. It's definitely a tearjerker.
No, that's why, like, I don't know how much we want to share on here, but I do want to acknowledge that you went through that. And
but I mean, it wasn't supposed to happen. We went to morning PT, and then you hear pop, pop, pop on a military base. It sounded like somebody with an M16 with a blank adapter. So, I mean, I turned around. I'm like looking like, what are these guys doing? We're low crawling, getting dirty. And then that's when the guy opened up with the Bushmaster, firing 5.56 rounds he took out of the arms room. And when you got a bullet that comes by you and you hear it, or you feel that trace around the heat from it go by, man, wow. I joke about it now, but if I had some coal in my butt, I would have crapped out some diamonds. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. Do you like sports? If so, what kind? I was a huge fan of baseball growing up. My favorite team was the New York Yankees.
Mine too.
I lived outside of Padre Stadium, so I definitely like them. I'm originally from Michigan, so I like the Detroit Tigers. I can say I like the Detroit Lions, but really I didn't. But they needed some love. Through my younger years floating around in the military, I liked just watching football. I mean, when you had Troy Aikman and you had Brett Favre and Emmitt Smith and the rivalry between the Cowboys, and the Steelers and, Philadelphia Eagles. But one night I was watching Monday Night Football, and the Jets came back from a devastating deficit and wound up winning the game. The game went on for an extra hour. I fell in love with the Jets.
So what do you think about Zach Wilson?
Zach Wilson. I'm horrible with names.
He's a quarterback for the Jets.
I haven't followed the teams this year. I've been really wrapped up in this guy.
Yeah, Joe Elliot, man, he takes all the time.
Yeah. Well, and that's the commitment. I'm trying to brand myself. I'm trying to grow.
Dude,
I'm hoping
you are a brand. You've got there.
Yeah, I'm hoping when I hit certain milestones, other doors will open,
Like
so
get in a movie or something.
Yeah, get in a bare knuckle boxing film.
Dude, that's so cool. I still think that's epic. So, but I appreciate you, Bob, joining and answering a few questions from us. And everyone,
my pleasure.
Thank you for joining us tonight. And you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you, Bob, and appreciate you.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, definitely. Right. Goodbye, everybody.
See you guys.
Oh, I got to take off, brother.
I did end. It's